Just the wind up here now. Last night the train came by on that railroad trestle. We don't have a lot of trees where the leaves turn. Sun is almost down. Just a little bit in the top. That mountain over there. I'm hoping to film the train sometime. It comes by at night though. About 9 to 10:30 p.m. normally. Depending on how late it's running. Yeah. So I hope to get it one of these times. To me, it's actually a soothing trigger when I hear it at my house. Even the sound of the whistle going off, the horn, they always blow it when they get close to town. Tonight, we just have the birds and the breeze. No, not the birds and the bees. The birds and the breeze. If we're gonna do a birds and the bees video, then we'll have to make it NSFW and talk about something else, won't we? Okay. I think I'm going to do a nighttime whisper also a little bit later. Maybe we'll go look at the lighthouse or listen to the waves down at the Pacific, a couple miles away from here. This is where I have seen the bats in the past. I don't see them today. You can see that it's fall, getting close to winter. So the leaves are dropping from the trees, going into the water. Let's see. Usually right down in here is where we see the little bats flying around, but apparently they found better hunting grounds tonight for bugs, for juicy bugs. I'm surprised I'm not being eaten by mosquitoes. There's not too many here in Oregon, thankfully, even in the evening. So we don't have to use repellent. What do we got up here? A couple of birds, a couple of, they're those white birds. What do you call those? They're not cranes. They're not cormorants. I always forget their name, but when it comes to me, I'll tell you. They're the ones that stand in shallow water, stalking little fish very patiently. Egret is the term I was trying to remember earlier for those white birds I was talking about. There we have one over across the way. Sitting on that stump. For hours. I might have to run through my alphabet before I remember what they're called. I think the sound of crunching I've seen otters here before, and have also seen an eagle swoop down and pluck a fish right out of the water, which was quite a sight, actually, to see. I wouldn't mind seeing that again. Wished I'd had a video of that. We're not really allowed to fish this part here because it's a tributary of the Umpqua River, which flows into the ocean, into Winchester Bay, close by here. You can hear the birds over here enjoying the evening, as I am. It was a beautiful day, very calm, very warm for October, about 80 degrees. It's supposed to get chillier tomorrow, and so then I'll go fishing. And fishing is better when it's cloudy, I think, than when it's bright sun all day. So I think this will about do it for tonight's Whisper. We'll do more during this trip. Now we have the calm of the final rays of the sunset and the sound of the crickets. I was hearing a frog a moment ago, but he seemed to stop. We have the highway in the distance, and the lights of the town way over there. Reedsport. Don't know if you can see the lights of the town or not. Oh yeah, there we go. But I heard also a strange animal noise. Sometimes at night here it's pitch black, and you hear some really freaky and spooky animal noises in the middle of the night. If you were way out in the wilderness, it would give you pause. You'd start thinking about those Bigfoot shows. But I don't believe Bigfoot actually exists, because if you study anthropobiology or anything like that, paleontology or various, that's the tsunami warning siren, but it's just a drill. We're not gonna get wiped out this time. We would know. There would be a giant earthquake first. Guess we better go in. It's kind of loud. All right. We'll go back inside the house and talk about that scary tsunami warning siren. So I'm gonna come in here where it's kind of dark and quiet and tell you what that's all about. We live in an area, I don't know if you'll be able to see me. Let's turn the camera around and I'll talk to you head on. We live in an area where we're prone to possibly having a, what they would call a mega quake on a mega thrust fault zone, the Cascadia. It will set loose a 9.0 quake sometime in the future. And we don't know if that's tomorrow or 300 years from now, because it's due about every 300 years, and it's been about 320 years since it happened last. They know this by the sediment core drilling on the ocean floor on the continental shelf, because each time one of these megaquakes occurs, it drops a great big layer of sediment off the coastal shelf cliff and forms a thick layer. So anyway, when one of these, it's about, from here, about 60 miles offshore, the fault zone, when that mega thrust quake occurs, a tsunami as high as 100 feet will sweep into this area and devastate the coastline. Now it won't be 100 feet here where I live, more like 10 feet, because it has to wind its way through a narrow opening between 200-foot high sand dunes at the mouth of Winchester Bay, and then it has to go about 2 miles upriver. So by my rough rocket science calculations, it could be something like 8 to 10 feet when it gets here. Now, if that was to happen at high tide, my home here would get inundated. But if it was low tide, we would escape probably from any problem. So I'm not too worried about it, because it could be hundreds of years away still. So very unlikely to occur in my lifetime, but there is a chance. So what I did was I made an earthquake and tsunami preparedness kit, big duffel bag with freeze-dried stuff and beef jerky and water bottles and insect repellent and a few other things, because our town would be completely isolated. The road in and out has big, tall, sheer sandstone and granite cliffs, in some cases a couple 100 feet high. All that would collapse from the earthquake and bury the highway. But so we wouldn't get out of here for weeks probably, and they would ferry in supplies from the Coast Guard and so forth. But I have a kit, with all that stuff, and a crank radio and a crank flashlight, all that kind of thing. So we're well prepared just in case while we wait for supplies. And, I would grab blankets and stuff, and we would grab that and some other things and get in the car, drive to high ground, which is very close by, and wait it out to see what would happen. The tsunami would be about a 20 to 30 minutes delay, so there would be plenty of warning from the quake itself. And the kind of house we live in would not be endangering us from brick or masonry or any of that kind of thing. It would be safe. It'd be pretty easy to just get out and drive off. So let's not talk disaster anymore, because that's probably not the most soothing topic. But I wanted to explain why they test the tsunami warning siren now and then. And if it ever goes off for real, it'll be more excitement than I would like to have in my late stage of lifetime. this evening we'll come back with more whisper talk.